Hi, it's Lisa from Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about pain. So if you suffer from chronic pain, I want you to listen to this video so that you can understand what may be happening and why the pain is growing and why the pain isn't going away, no matter all your attempts to try to get it to go away. So when we're in chronic pain, if you've ever experienced pain, pain is a partner. So let's just start by saying that pain is the most devilish partner that you will ever have. It's a horrible, it feels like an enemy, but it's actually a partner, right? It is an antagonistic ally, pain. So it is one of the most antagonistic allies that you'll ever have. Okay, so pain starts off to show us what is wrong in our life, to uncover thoughts or feelings or emotions or a situation or experience that is not right for us and that we need to take time away from, need space, need to change, need to soothe ourselves, whatever. So pain is there for a reason. But what happens over time is when we don't look at pain, when we turn away from pain, when we ignore pain, when we try to escape pain, pain grows because it is your partner and it wants you to hear its message. But you can't hear its message because you're too busy trying to push it away. The more pain grows, at a certain point, pain steps forward. So you have all kinds of different parts within your being. You have the pain body and the love body and the happiness body and the joy body and the grief body, and you have all kinds of different bodies. But your pain body, you have all kinds of different parts within you. But when your pain becomes so big, it steps forward, almost like its own entity within your body, and you begin to embody pain. So it steps forward as the main identity of yourself and of your life, and you embody it. So you now become almost the pain. The pain is driving the show here, right? You can only relate to things through pain because it has stepped forward as the entity that is kind of showing you and interpreting how the world is supposed to be and how the world looks to you. So every thought is filtered through pain. So now that you're embodying this pain body and you're identifying with pain becomes the enemy itself, okay? Pain becomes now your abuser, your tormentor. Pain is now the enemy. So when you have when you have a child, let's say, who's molested by an adult, that perpetrator is the enemy. And that perpetrator is the one who is in the wrong and who's the enemy and who is the person to escape from, right? But in this case, your pain becomes the actual enemy against you. But because it is part of you, because it is you stepping forward to embody this pain, it's almost like you are yourself. You become pitted against yourself as the pain is your enemy and you are trying to escape it, and you can never escape it because it is you. It is part of you. It is the identity that has stepped forward to get your attention. It is your partner, pain, and it wants to show you, so it is growing as large as it can to get you to realize that you need to change, that this is not working. Please look at me. Please help me. Please hold me. Please comfort me. Please love me. Please forgive me. Please change the situation. Whatever it is calling out to you. But you can't see that anymore because it is now viewed as the enemy, as the perpetrator, as the enemy. And then the hardest part about pain is the betrayal that we feel in the world. Because we have, up until this point, lived a great life. We've had relationships. We've had, our husband or our loved ones, our closest family, our closest friends, whatever. And we have made these silent and maybe out loud, in the case of your husband, unspoken commitments with them. I'll be there for you. You be there for me. We're there for each other through thick and thin. We are best friends. We're family. I will always help you in a situation. So just as that child who is molested by a grown-up, often when you're dealing with trauma, when you're dealing with significant trauma like that, the majority of the pain and the majority of the forgiveness work and the inner work and everything that needs to be righted does not usually come from having to forgive or do the work to, against the perpetrator itself. So the work, usually, the thing that keeps us stuck, that keeps us suffering, that keeps us in pain and in trauma is not thinking back to, what actually happened and needing to forgive or let go of that person who did that to us, the perpetrator who did that to us. It's the person who stood by and let it happen. So maybe the mother who made excuses, who didn't step in, who ignored it, who turned away, who didn't help, right? That is where the majority of the pain that this child needs to process as an adult comes from. It comes from the person who promised to love us and help us, stood by and let it happen, or made excuses, or turned away, or left us in our hour of need, didn't save us, didn't come, didn't help. They broke our trust. They betrayed us. They betrayed us on a level so deep that is where the forgiveness work comes from. That is where the hurt comes from. That is where the true, dealing with the trauma usually, not always, but usually lands. So when we think of this as our own, we have this enemy that is now attacking us, our pain. We see it as the perpetrator, as the abuser. It's attacking us, right? It is solely attacking us, and we feel persecuted. We feel tortured. We feel like we're being held against our will in a prison camp. We're being tortured alive by our pain and our suffering, by an enemy. And what happens is we look around and these friends in our lives disappear. They turn away from us. They don't help. They ignore it. They make comments as if it's not real. So what I'm trying to say here is the betrayal and the pain that we feel from the actual people who we had these vows, either verbal or non-verbal vows, as husband, wife, family, best friends, that we felt would be there for us in our hour of need, that we would be there for them, that if we saw them being tortured, we would rescue them. But because they can't see it, because they don't see a perpetrator, because they don't understand that, they don't help. They turn away. They slip out of our lives. They make new best friends. The family doesn't come. It doesn't seem to resonate. It doesn't seem to matter. And it's like they're standing by. We feel like this child who is being abused by a father and the mother is standing by and letting it happen. We feel the betrayal is so strong that we have to live our life, and the people that we thought loved us and cared for us and would save us and would protect us and that we thought would always help us and save us if we needed it have turned away. And that betrayal is so deep that we feel so alone, so isolated, so betrayed, so hurt, so in pain, that is where the work needs to be done. Because if you heal, then you have to go back to being their friend. They come back into your life. These people now are around you again, but it's always been unspoken. It's been unsaid. The pain that you went through felt like it didn't matter. And it's almost like you're excusing their behavior. You're letting them off the hook and you feel like you can't forgive because the hurt and the betrayal is so deep. So a lot of times this is the work that we need to do internally, is to recognize, first off, that we are, the pain is not a perpetrator, it is not an enemy. And I know our perception is skewed and we actually feel that way. And that these people in our life, we need to actually sit with forgiveness work for them and either forgive them or let them out of our life or resolve it in some way that we can feel whole again, because we feel so betrayed and so hurt. And that's actually part of the pain that is holding on. And even though you say, no, it's physical, it's just my back, or it's just this, or it's just that, that's in pain, it's actually the memories. And one of the things you can't let go of is the betrayal and the hurt of all the people who stood by and let this happen to you. And you don't want to forgive them. Part of you doesn't want to forgive them or let them off the hook. And that is why you're holding on to the pain. So this is one way to look at pain from a deep emotional point of view that I hope you will look at and I hope you will consider when you're dealing with long-standing chronic pain. Because a lot of the pain itself is coming from this betrayal and this hurt that you feel against the world, against God, against the universe, against certain people in your life for standing by and letting it happen, right? And so we need to do the work around that. We need to do the work around forgiveness, around self-love, around, all the work that child would need to do to forgive the mother for standing by and letting it happen. And it's very hard in our minds that the people that we love and trust the most have not only we can't forgive them almost in a way for not being able to save us from our own pain, from our own enemy. And what they've done is they've added to our pain. And we feel like we can never forgive them for that. So not only have they not been able to save us from our abuser, from our pain, but they've gone ahead and added to our pain. They've enabled the abuser. They've added to our suffering and our pain. And for that, we hold pain in our bodies and our heart, and we can't let go of it, and it circles. So we really need to do the emotional work on that. And I'll be back with some more videos on pain and how to do that emotional work, because it's truly life-changing and life-saving. And the life that you're saving is your own. Your pain body, that pain identity has stepped forward and taken over you. Taken over the embodiment of you. And you need to turn towards this part of you now. You need to turn towards this pain part of you now. And realize it is your partner. It is your friend. It is trying to help you. And you need to hear what it is saying. You need to be able to hear the messages it is giving you. And you need to change your life accordingly. That is the only way out of the pain. So I'll be back to do some more videos on how to change your life, on how to forgive those who stood by and let this happen, and how to listen to that pain self that has stepped forward in you, that pain partner, that antagonistic ally who is trying to give you a message. You need to hear the message and do everything that you can to change your life, big and small, in all ways, until the pain goes away. It is giving you a message and you are not hearing it. You are not hearing it. And that's what you need to do. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll be back to do more about that.